All right, let me just get this thing full screened here. Super cool. All right, so just
Is
for
it
those,
working?
huh?
Is it working?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. My computer's like just hissing right now. So just to let everybody know what's going on here, and this is a great marketing strategy that I have no doubt Anthony Mosley is going to do because I just learned that Anthony Mosley is a doer. But here's what we're doing right now. And it takes a couple seconds to get this thing set up. It's not terribly hard. But we're on Facebook right now. So you're watching me on Facebook, me and Anthony. But you're watching me and Anthony from one of three Facebook channels. I don't know which one you're watching me from. It could be from one of mine, Brian Stevens, or a Mortgage Shots one, or Frank and Brian. You could be watching us on YouTube. You could be watching us on Periscope right now. I've never even been to Periscope, nor do I ever intend to go to Periscope. But you're at Periscope, so if I want to sell more people more shit, I better go where you want to go, not where I want to go. So what we're doing is we're syndicating through a program. So we've got Facebook Live. Then we have our syndication program, which is we're using Restream. Now, to get Anthony on here, what we're using is we're using Zoom. And in order to get that overlay on here, we're using OBS. So in order to make this happen, Anthony, right now, we are actually running 4 programs. But it's cool because now you have the text code up above, so when people hear all the great shit that you're doing, and they want to do the same type of thing, all they have to do is text Booster to 33655. So that's my big takeaway. And actually, to be honest with you, this is pretty self-serving of me because I saw you do a live, and I thought, boy, that's great. But I wanna share something with you first, Anthony. And in case you guys don't know, this is Anthony. You with Van Dyke, is it?
Yep.
Are down there in Orlando?
No, my team is in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Oh, home of the Gerald Ford International Airport. Right? It is. You probably didn't even know that. Grand Rapids, their airport is the Gerald Ford International Airport. Okay, so I'm reading this book right now called Atomic Habits. This is a fantastic book by a guy named James Clear. And James Clear talks about how we are nothing but a reflection of the habits, both good and bad, that we have. That's what we are. Like your business, whatever your business is right now, congratulations, you earned every bit of it. If it's shitty or great, you earned it. And your business is a reflection of how you approach your business. So those who have more better habits in place for their business and whose identity is that of a top producer is going to be more successful. Their identity is going to be as a more successful loan officer than somebody who doesn't. So like one of the things I always go through is like, what always catches my ear is like, how do we get somebody from the drafting table to the actual work site? Like how do I tell you, Anthony, or somebody else, here's what you need to do, and you might even agree with it, but then what happens is that people just don't go do it. I mean, like seriously, I'm telling you, I'll bet you it's 90 to 95% of the loan officers that we talk to, all 100% agree it's a good idea. I'll bet you 90, 95% don't do shit. Why do you think that is?
Motivation, commitment, and just straight up lazy assness. I mean, it's not just the LOs though; it's the realtors too.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not shaming anybody, but it's the fact. I mean, if you're not succeeding, it's your fault. It's no one else's fault.
Right.
I have shown this program to so many agents, and they'll continue to post their listings from the MLS link, the Flex MLS link that has no capture. And I'm like, some of these guys are paying Zillow $7 to $10 grand a month.
Yep. No, I see this. I see this all the time. So for those of you who are watching right now, what Anthony's doing here is Anthony's using a product called Listing Booster. People like homes, they don't like mortgages. That's just that we've said that forever. People, if you want to get more people to get mortgages, don't sell them mortgages, sell them homes.
Right.
You know, it's kind of, if you're a dentist, if you think about it, don't go tell people the advantages of brushing and flossing 15 times a day. Just sell them candy. You know what I mean? What's going to be more effective for making a dentist more successful? Scaring somebody into flossing 3 times a day or selling them candy? Like, what's better? Selling them candy is better. So what Anthony's doing here is like he's talking about single property websites and different ways that you can post properties that people are interested in selling candy. But what Listing Booster does differently than other programs, I think every program that has single property websites in the country, I don't know of another one, we put lead capture on everything. So like for your single property websites, if you post it into a group and somebody who's looking at that house wants to buy it, what? Oh, okay. Thank you, Lena. And somebody wants to get more information on that house. We won't even show them the house until we capture their information. Like what? If I'm a lender, what the hell? Like, I ain't trying to sell your house. I'm trying to get mortgages. Like, I want to sell your house, and I want you to be more successful. But in my hierarchy, me closing more deals is above you selling your house. If we sell it as a consequence of our marketing actions, so be it. So we have some form of lead capture on every single thing we do. So here's the funny part. So I'm sitting here at my desk. We're talking about, like, are we working tomorrow? It's Good Friday. Yeah, we're going to work tomorrow till noon. Then we're going to go fishing. That's what we're going to do. So Lena, who just came up to me a moment ago, Lena's in our office. She's been working with shit. Lena, how many years? 6 years. And so Lena comes up to me and she goes, hey, Brian, I just wanted to let you know that somebody's bitching about you in the Listing Booster users group. And I said, oh, they are they? I thought that's kind of ballsy of them. And I'll tell you, we don't take down negative comments. Like, if people have negative shit to say about Listing Booster, I'm cool with it as long as it's well-founded. So in other words, what is not okay is to buy a product, not learn the product, not use the product, then bitch about the product. That's not okay. Now, buy the product, use the product, succeed with the product, and then something goes wrong, that's possible. That's totally possible. And we want everyone to know about that because we want to fix the problem. So there's a difference. Like, not all bitching is weighed evenly. There's bad bitching and good bitching. So anyways, I see this a few minutes ago that this guy named Anthony Mosley, his title was Listing Boosters Training Sucked Yesterday or something like that. So when you just did this, I was going to just type in there, I'm watching you, and I didn't. So I just started listening to what Anthony was doing, and Anthony's basically doing everything that I'm seeing so many loan officers not do. Like taking that leap and actually getting off the drafting table and going out to the workplace and building a good business. So, Anthony, this is a long-winded way of introducing you, but thank you for jumping on with me. I immediately reached out to you because I said, I want you to share your message with other people who are not finding your success, and I want them to hear it from your mouth. Now, we did not talk before this, correct?
I don't think we've talked since, what was it, 2 years ago?
Okay, so 2 years ago. All right, so we haven't spoke. I have not told you what to...
You were still drinking back then.
Yeah, and next time I see you, I'll probably be drinking again, but just not today.
You look good, man. You look good.
Thanks. So my point is, what I want to get across is, like, I'm not over here trying to direct your conversation. I want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. Tell me when what you were doing, and tell me what works for you, why it's working, why other people fail, and what the problems you encountered are. That's a mouthful, but let's hear it.
The thing that drives me nuts is giving someone an idea and them agreeing that it's cool and not doing it.
Yep.
And always looking for new ways to do things. And I got to meet Dave Jinks this last year. He actually is the guy who wrote the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he made mention after reading Shift, he wrote Shift too, is that we need to change our business up the way things are going, or we're not going to be a necessity anymore. They don't need us. I mean, pretty much people think they can get a mortgage on this now and they can sell a house on this. And we have to show epic value, right? We have to do something far beyond. So the lead generation thing, I'm friends with Larry Lee. He builds funnels and shit like that, which I don't get. So hopefully he'll just do one for me. But mess around with online marketing and whatnot. And we've partnered up with real estate agents in the past with Commissions Inc. in Boomtown. And if you ever notice on the side of the screen, it tells you where the lead came from. And I've noticed over time that it's gone from Bing and Google to Facebook. So what are they doing, man, right? So they're running ads. They're running ads of a picture of a house is saying for a free list of homes in this area, or for to look for a house of your dreams. Click here. You click there, it goes to the website. And before you can look, you got to opt in. Or you have to put in your name, phone number, email address. So always looking for new ways to do shit. And you came out with this 8-week-long kaleidoscope, right? And I was like, I'll listen to anybody, right? And I know you guys. I've been with you guys for a while. So I took the first class, and it was led by a young lady. I don't remember. Was that the one that told on me today?
Probably, yeah. Lena, I'm sure it was Lena.
she gave this class, and I would never thought about it. So I've always taken listings and posted them on Facebook, right? And I've even run ads, but not even thinking to utilize the platform of Marketplace. I didn't even know you could sell damn houses on Marketplace.
Oh, dude, it's nuts. By the way,
here's what you underwear on Marketplace.
Here's what you probably haven't figured out either. This is really so. I saw this. So Marketplace is basically Facebook's version of Craigslist. That's what it is. It looks like Craigslist. It feels like Craigslist. And we've been doing Craigslist strategies on Listing Booster for a long time. Yes, and so what we did is we basically just adapted that to Marketplace because it's the same damn thing. Here's what we do. So on our properties, we have the text code for that specific property. Like you're looking at above, if you want to do the shit that Anthony's doing, all you have to do to get all the webinars and to buy the product right now is just text Booster to 33655. Okay, that right there above us is a text code.
Well, so now, you have to do it, though. You're going to have to do it, though, Brian.
You are going to have to do it. That's a problem, Anthony. Oh, and by the way, it takes, well, I'm going to let you talk about how long it takes. So, but anyway, so what we do is we embed the JPEG for that property, that specific property, into the text code. I want to show you this, Anthony. So I'm going to screen share with you, so everybody should be watching this right now. So I'm just going to show you my local market. Ready? Okay, so you should be looking at my screen now. Here's where we're syndicating to. This is what you're looking at. Now, I'm going to go over to my Facebook account. So you're looking at my Facebook, right? Okay, so I'm going to go over here to Marketplace. Okay, so here's Marketplace. This is what we're talking about. All right. Now, your Marketplace, so this is funny. I was doing a webinar on this. So I'm like, all the shit that you like search is what shows up. So look what shows up on mine. Bikes and houses, because that's what I searched. So I was telling people on a webinar this the other day. I'm like, what you search shows up. And as I started scrolling down, I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I'm looking at women's underwear. Okay, so if I go to Marketplace and then I go to housing, by the way, I think the reason they're showing me this crap is because Facebook knows I'm a 47-year-old guy and we're just a bunch of perverts, and so they probably just assume that. Okay, so now if I go to properties for sale, so now I am in my local market, Vacaville, California, within 20 miles, and I said plus your click history. Okay, so now, so we're looking at properties for sale in Vacaville within 20 miles where I'm at right now. So every property here that has a text code above it, right here, right here, right here, and right here, these are all Listing Booster users, okay? Now, if I click on this property, see how it says text LBR 22712 to 878787? This text code is for this specific property, okay? Now, you notice who's doing this. Her name is Stephanie Ham, okay? Now, if I go over here, who do you think's doing this? Guess who? Stephanie Ham. Now, let's go down here. Who do you think's doing this one, Anthony? Stephanie Ham. Okay, now let's go down here. Who do you think's posting this one, Anthony? Right. Okay. So
78787.
So what I noticed on here when I went to my local marketplace on Facebook, I started looking at this and I said, wow, there's a lot of Listing Booster posts on here. Because if you go to Marketplace Homes for Sale in your area, there will be no text codes. None. Zero. Okay? Unless you're in Anthony's market because he's kicking ass. So now I went and pulled up.
Now you're doing video. There's going to be a ton of them now. Straight ruined my whole glow.
Dude, Anthony.
I'm kidding.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, no one's going to do it because loan officers don't do this shit. Like it's like they don't want to be successful. So I went and pulled Stephanie's account and looked at what she's getting on her text code, and she's totally cranking. So this is essentially what you're doing, correct? This is one of the strategies?
Yeah, also what I'm doing, and you're, what is her name, man? I feel bad calling her other things other than her name.
Who?
The young lady that gave the presentation.
Oh, Lena.
What Lena took it a step further, and I like too, is I will put the link to the website in there too.
Oh, okay. So
this lady last night on one of the marketplaces put in the comments, don't text this number because they will just blow you up afterwards. And I actually reported her Facebook for hate, but they got deleted. But so if they don't do that, they got to that right there for more details. Click here. Yep.
So you're putting. Oh, you okay? You're doing this right here, right?
I'm doing that, but the picture is definitely the one that you get from the Craigslist tool.
So now, if so, I don't know why this isn't hyperlink. Is yours hyperlinking? This should be hyperlinking.
Yeah, mine's been hyperlinked. I think you got to hit enter, maybe a space, something like that.
Okay, so on this one, like if I go here, let's see what this looks like. So if I'm gonna go, so I'm gonna pull this up. So this is the one from Stephanie Hams that I'm doing. Okay, you see what it did?
Yep.
So what happened, guys, is it pulled up the property, and then it automatically blacked it out. And it says, oh, if I want to tour this home, I have to click with Facebook. So now I'm going to click Facebook because it's easy. And it just, now I can see the property, okay? But here's the point. When I click that Facebook thing, Stephanie Ham and Carlos and Shanti, they just got me as a lead. So they just captured my information. So why would we not be posting this on Facebook? So tell me about your posting prowess then, Anthony. Tell me how that whole thing looks. So you started doing this. When did you start doing it? How much time you spend in? What problems did you run into? What are your results?
So I think we took the class on Friday, the webinar, and I went in Listing Booster after that, and I grabbed a dude's listing that doesn't even use it, and I made my first post exactly like she told me, and it was, I texted him and said, hey man, sorry if your email starts blowing up, do you mind if we work these leads? And he was like, hell yeah, and sure enough, man, it just blew up. It blew up.
How many leads did you get in what period of time?
32 by Saturday morning. So I did that Friday, like as I was leaving work to go have a drink, and then Saturday morning I opened up my envelope to see 32 there.
32. So within under 24 hours, then you got 32 people to hit that code.
One listing.
32 people. So 32 people who looked at a listing you posted on Marketplace decided, I'm interested in enough in that house to go ahead and pick my phone up, hit that text code, and you captured the number of 32 people. What you did, I thought was interesting, is you made a preemptive call out to this real estate agent and saying, hey, can we work these leads together? Yep. Did you talk to them subsequently after that?
Actually, what I did is I emailed, I lied to you, I emailed him and copied one of my loan originators so they could team up and work these leads. And then I also exported the CSV file from the dashboard and sent it to both them too, and to my LO's marketing assistant, who then is putting it in his follow-up campaign and his CRM drip campaigns for prospective buyers.
Okay. Was this the first time you tried this strategy, or have you been doing it for a while?
No, it's the first time, man. I wish I would have thought about it before, but like I said, the kaleidoscope thing intrigued me. I thought you were going to do something really crazy. I'm sure it's coming up.
Oh, we're going to go real crazy. We're going to go bonkers crazy. But I wanted to, with the kaleidoscope thing, is you probably, since you're the manager of people too, you understand this, is that if we don't start with our foundational stuff first, it's kind of like, what I tell people is you can't understand calculus unless you understand algebra. You're not going to understand algebra unless you understand division. You're not going to understand division until you understand addition, subtraction. So we're starting with addition, subtraction before we work our way up to more complex strategies. But now that you've done this once, is this something that you plan on doing again, or?
Yeah, I did it. I've been doing lead gen lately, like learning how to do it through social media. And I made the comment to someone the other day. I go, it's like going fishing, dude. It's like you're addicted. It's fun. You're trying to figure out a new way to do something or learn something from someone else, because it's not always what to do. It's who knows how to do it or who does it.
Right.
Learn from them. But I don't know why more people aren't talking about it, but not that there's not a lot. But the interesting thing is I did it the next day on a different agent's property, and in a totally different location, right? And she got more leads.
Really?
And I texted her and said, hey, I'm doing this. I hope you don't mind. And she's like, well, I'm at a cheerleading competition right now. So-and-so gets my leads from Listing Booster and works them. I was like, all right. So I took that list and emailed it to another LO that works in that area. Monday morning came across. I was in a Keller Williams office, and I showed another, maybe it was Tuesday, leads are coming in. And then he messaged me on Facebook last night and goes, dude, this property of mine just went live, and I just did what you showed me. It's gonna blow up, and holy shit, dude! That one got 58 since last night.
This is like this. This is what the moment I'm trying to bottle. Like this is what. So in order for me to have one Anthony Mosley conversation, I have to go through 20 like not Anthony Mosley conversations, and that's the frustrating part because you're figuring this out and you're starting to see the results from this activity. And now what I'm hoping that you're doing is you're saying, well, wait, if these two strategies work this well, what happens if I throw on another third strategy or fourth strategy that we're offering?
A minute to do one of those posts. If you got multiple screens, it's really easy because you're just like pull, you know, and it's easy. It's super easy, and I like I said, it's what Zillow's doing. It's what all the lead companies that are selling you leads are doing. They're doing it's not the same exact, but what they're doing, the concept is you're offering something and you're giving and you're asking for something and then you're giving a reward, right?
Yep.
And then it's up to you to make the relationship with that person. And you know, the scripts are going to be the big thing too, is how people approach these people is the clever way of asking the questions. I mean, my script when I'm calling people is hey, appreciate you looking at 1452 Giddings. That one just went up. What'd you think of the property? Ask them as many questions as you can before you start trying to get their pants off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the answer is emphatically absolutely yes. I'll tell you a quick little story. So when and I've told this story so many times, so indulge me if you've heard it before. But when my business was all jacked up in 2008, I mean, I went from making a lot of money to being fucked like everybody else, like really fucked. And I found out I was having a kid then. So again, a lot of you have heard the story. But one of the things, right? She's my daughter's 11 years old now. Literal, crazy story. But so what happened is I came back and I started cold calling people. Like I literally would get lists from title companies when they could give them to you back in 2008 before the internet. And I was doing non-owner occupant properties. I was doing, I'd go out to like Blackhawk and Danville, which is real ritzy, and trying to do, option arm refinances. Didn't work out. I actually spoke with seriously, I called Blackhawk when I was in 2008, I was trying to refinance NEGAM deals. And I called and I got a hold of the owner of the San Francisco Giants. I did. Like what he was on because that's where he lived. And I ended up talking with him. And he owned like 3 houses. They were all on World Savings NEGAM deals. But of course he's shrewd, smart, and he knew exactly what he was doing. So he started asking me what I'm doing and how it's working. I'm cold calling in the middle of the night. I'm like, would you just fucking refinance? And so, but anyway, then I would call Vallejo, which is kind of a depressed area, and I was just calling everybody, and like nothing worked. For like 5 months, I was cold calling every night because I'm having a kid and I'm broke, remember? So anyways, and I did this every night. So I was calling in Vacaville where I live, and we are the home of the taqueria. Like if you want Mexican food, come to Vacaville. Like there is a Mexican restaurant or a taqueria for every third citizen in the city, documented and otherwise. Do you want good Mexican food? We've got it. So anyways, one of the gals, a title company I was working with, the escrow officer's assistant, she was this young Hispanic gal, and her mom and dad, like so many people in Vacaville, owned a taqueria across town, a place called Burrito Palace. And so somebody told me, they're like, hey man, you got to go to Maria. I don't know if her name's Maria, but come on, Maria. All right, it's Maria. So they said, hey man, you got to go to Maria's parents' taco joint. They had these carne asada burritos that are just killer. And so me and a bunch of loan officers went there, and this little hole in the wall, and they were just like this, just bomb, dude. They were so good. So when I'm cold calling in Vacaville, and I'm trying to get people to refinance, and I had the greatest line. Like seriously, back in 2008, you could own that house and have a lower payment than what your rent was, flat out. Like there's down payment assistance money. Your rent on this is $2,000 a month. Your mortgage payment would be $1,500 a month. And when you own it, you can have 14 pit bulls and an El Camino up on blocks in your front yard. And nobody can say shit because you own the house. So like I had a really compelling line and everybody said no. Like everybody said no. So I called this dude up, and he was on my cold call list, and I called him up, and I'm looking at where he's at, and I'm just jaded as all hell and burnt out from cold calling. And I said, hey, man, I go, so you live right around the corner from that Burrito Palace? He's like, yeah. I go, you ever had their carne asada burrito? He goes, dude. I'm like, oh, you have? He's like, oh man, their carne asada burritos. He's like, and if you had like this fajita or something like that, I'm like, no, but I go there every Thursday. We started bullshitting about burritos at a taco stand. No joke. And then like after 10 minutes of talking, this guy goes, well, why are you calling me? And I said, oh, well, I'm Brian Stevens. And now my spiel that kept getting knocked down for 6 months, like word for word, 6 months every time I failed, I went into it and I said, oh, my name's Brian Stevens. I work at First Priority Financial. I'm over here on the corner of Merchant and Alamo Street. I'm a loan officer. I'm local. I wanted people to know I wasn't calling from Bangladesh. I said, and I'm just looking around, and it's cheaper to own a house and rent, with the market being this screwed up and the city of Vacaville's down payment assistance money. Like, you can get into a house for nothing, and it would be cheaper than what you're renting, and now you own the house. I go, I just think that's something that you should consider. Would you want to talk about it? And the guy goes, yeah, I think I would. I'm like, after 6 months of cold calling, 6 months, I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm like, I got a deal. So then I called the next person up, and I said, I found a place that was next to them, and I started like, I would start my mortgage calling by talking about taco stands. And it worked like almost every time. Like I went from a no conversion to a high conversion. It's exactly what you said, Anthony. It's like when you get somebody talking about something they're interested in, just shut up and let them talk because even if you aren't talking, they are establishing rapport with you because you are listening to them. So that's what this guy says. That's a great book. It's a book called Never Split the Difference by a guy named Chris Voss. And he talks about mirroring, okay? And one of the things he says to do, and I started doing this.
Take notes, man. You always got to take notes.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this book, I tell this to everybody. I would not work with a real estate agent who didn't read this book. I shit you not. Like if I sell a house or buy a house, I'm going to ask them if they read this book, and I'll say, I'll work with you after you finish reading this book. I'll give it to you. And if they say they're not going to read this, you'd read it one day. If they're not going to read it, fuck them. They're not my agent. If they read this, they will come back to me and thank me. I mean, that's how this book was amazing. So he started talking about mirroring, and the whole mirroring where you say the last 3 words that comes out of the other person's mouth, just keep them talking. That's the idea. It's the art of manipulation is what it really boils down to.
Yeah, it is the art of manipulation.
So you're right. When you get somebody on the phone, it is manipulation. It is. That's where people have a problem with this book. Chris Voss, this dude right here, he was the United States, the FBI top international hostage negotiator for 20 years. For 20 years. Like this dude, he tells his stories. The shit he was up against was radical. Like the stories in here, they're crazy. But then he has real life applications for, salespeople, CEOs, companies. He talks to Fortune 500 companies. He's amazing.
Yeah, they were trying to get him out of retirement to save Jussie Smollett. Did you see what Charles Barkley said? Remember that? Charles Barkley got all in hot water. He's like, Jussie Smollett. He goes, all he has to do is just go spend a couple days in Liam Neeson's neighborhood. I'm like, oh my god. I don't know why he gets trouble for that, but it was great.
I thought it was funny. Okay, so how much time did you spend posting?
15 minutes maybe, but between all of them.
About 15 minutes?
Yeah, I'm going to do another. I see 3 listings just went live. I'm going to do 3 more before I go meet my wife for dinner. Okay,
I'll let you go here in a second. One other thing that I want you to consider, me and Kevin, you were down there with us in Florida, weren't you? Weren't you just down there?
I was kicking it with, not recently, no, not with you guys. I had a different convention I was in. But Kevin, you, and Frank were kicking it with us at, was it Planet Hollywood?
In what city?
Orlando.
Oh, I don't think Frank was there. I remember that planet with Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a cool little gig that you guys had going on down there.
Yeah, we switched to Clearwater Beach now.
Did you really? Clearwater. You're over on the other coast?
Yeah, that place that's nice though.
Dude, Clearwater. If you're gonna go to Florida, seriously, if you're gonna go to Florida, go to Clearwater. Don't go to Orlando. I'm dead serious. It's night and day.
I'm done with Orlando for a while.
One of the things that we talk about that I think is an opportunity that you could share with your loan officers is so I want you to think about this. Now, all marketing is getting a group of people and compelling them to do the thing you want them to do. Getting them to do something. That's all marketing is. So in your case, you're borrowing the audience from Facebook's marketplace. You're compelling them to hit your text code. That's what's happening. Audience, compel them to do something. That's it. So when you're dealing with, like, let's say you're to post something on Facebook, or let's say like in a newspaper or something like that, right? You're getting a general cross section of people in your community. That's what you're getting. People who want to buy, people who don't want to buy, just a sample of your community. Your hopes are the ones who are interested in what you're marketing are going to trigger on your marketing piece that's intended to be triggered on. That's the idea. So what you have is the idea then is you want a large population, a large group, because you're going to have very few people who are going to be interested in buying what you're selling. So you get large data, and then you have your message, low conversion. Big data, low conversion. That's the thinking. Now, the other way to look at marketing is get smaller sample sizes where you have a higher conversion. So it's kind of like, would you rather convert 50% of 2 or 10% of 100? It's the same thing. It's one deal either way. So I would rather deal with 2 people than 100 people. Personally, the outcome is the same, but that's the difference between big data and small data, is your conversion ratio goes up with a smaller sample size. So for instance, Anthony, if you were to sit and talk with somebody who's thinking about buying a house, and you had a one-on-one conversation, you're going to convert them. So how do we find a smaller sample size, higher conversion rate, better quality lead? Here's what we do. On your Listing Booster account, you just said a moment ago, you, not me, I just had 2 or 3 listings come live. You just said that, right?
Yep.
So they were just uploaded, right?
Yeah, automatically from MLS. Right?
Okay, yeah. Now, I want you to think about this. Try this. I swear to God, try this. So these are 3 properties that are going to sell, okay? Those 3 sellers, there are 3 sellers involved, okay? Those 3 sellers, there's an 85% chance they're going to buy in the market that you sell loans, period. Statistically, that's what it boils down to. So you're going to get 2 or 3 out of 3 who are going to buy in your market right now. From the 3 listings that you just had sent to you, those just went live on your MLS. They ain't selling their house if they can't buy another one, okay?
Right.
So we know that now. That was a variable we didn't have. 2, we know that it's the right time for them to buy. They're selling their house, so chances are they are buying another house. So time is the biggest one that kills leads. So they do qualify, it's the right time, it's in your area, and when you call, you're going to be speaking with a decision maker. When you look at the 4 qualifying qualities to turn a prospect into a client, that person has all of them. The problem with a seller is they have a 5th thing. That 5th thing that they have is they have another lender not named you. That's what they probably have, because nobody is going to list their house to buy another house unless they know that they can afford that house, right? You would agree. Okay, so your barrier, if you can overcome that other lender, you've got a slam dunk deal that's going to close in the next 45 days. That's what you get. So your conversion ratio goes through the roof. They qualify, they're buying right now, you're speaking with a decision maker, slam dunk. The problem is the other lender. So here's the strategy. Those 3 listings that you got, they just came on the market. So that person probably just spoke with a lender the day before or a couple days before. And maybe it's a Van Dyke person and you just don't mess with it. But maybe it's not. Maybe this is one of the agents you have in your Listing Booster account who kind of uses somebody else who's not Van Dyke. Okay? So now call that agent up and say, hey, Sally, I'm going to be posting your property and generating leads for you on Facebook as we do over here. Just got 35 leads in one day for somebody. I'm going to do that for you. But in the meantime, I'd like to get a sign writer up or something like to that effect. Is it okay if I call your seller? Okay? Sure. So you call the seller up and you say, hey, my name is Brian Stevens. I'm over here with ABC Mortgage. Just spoke with Sally, your real estate agent. Want to let you know that we're going to be posting your property with text code capture on your property to different varying groups on social media so we can sell your house for top dollar as quick as possible. And the guy's going to go, wow, thanks, Anthony. That's pretty cool of you. And then, Anthony, I want you to tell him, say, you know what trips me out? Did you know that 60-70% of the people who buy houses, did you know that they're already intimately familiar with that neighborhood? Kind of makes sense. I mean, you have friends who come over your house. Some of your friends are going to see your house in your neighborhood and kind of like it. You covet what you know, just like in Silence of the Lambs. So it makes sense that a lot of people, buy houses in communities that they're familiar with. What that's telling me is that your house that's going to sell, you might know the seller or you might know the buyer. Chances are the buyer's going to come through you. So what I want to do is I want to get a sign writer up, but on top of that, I want to get you a copy of the marketing piece so maybe you could share it with your friends. And because it has a text code that my company Van Dyke put together, so whenever somebody hits that text code, I'm going to capture their information. I'll run them down for you because I want to make sure that you get top dollar. Are you cool if I send that to you? What are you going to say? You're the seller. Totally. Now, all right. Now, Anthony, I want you to understand something here. The reason why I'm doing this, I don't give a shit if he does anything with that single property website. But I want that seller to think, hey, who's this Brian guy who's a lender at Van Dyke who's helping me sell my house? Because I'm banking that your lender is just sending you a link to fill out a 1003 and you're a number for him. But all of a sudden, Brian Stevens over here is invested in selling your house. That means you're going to consider working with me because the next words out of my mouth are going to be, hey, Anthony, so you own this house here, so I just sent that to you. So make sure you get this in front of people. But have you already looked at your loan going forward on this? You're going to probably say yeah. And then what I'm going to say is, hey man, you know what? What would be great is how about if I send you over a net sheet? You just kind of get a rough idea of what you're trying to accomplish, and maybe we can put together a better deal than the one you're staring down. Are you cool with that? You're going to say yes every time. Every time. Now, so what I did is I'm calling the seller providing value to really kick in that whole notion of reciprocity. Because once they see that this Brian Stevens guy is helping them sell their house, then I hit them with, hey, can I give you another offer on your house? He's going to feel more inclined to work with me than the other guy who's at the credit union who's just a sterile dead fish. Now, of course, a lot of these people are going to say no because they already got a lender. But what if you got a 20 or 30% conversion rate on this? They're a guaranteed slam dunk closed deal in 45 days. They qualify, they're buying it, everything's good. Why don't we look at our sellers more often?
That's a great point. And shit, why don't we just try anything? My coach says I'm a fan of anything that works.
Yeah, and right? this one's a no-brainer.
But you're never going to hit 1,000 on anything, man. You got to have some no's. You got to have a lot of no's, man. In fact, I challenge anybody that's watching this right now is do it just to get some no's. You're going to get yes. But do it to get some no's. And dude, your strategy, you know what I love about you, man? I sit and watch you sometime when you're streaming is I love the fact that you really think about this shit and you're not afraid to be different and you're very authentic with it. And
thank you.
What people want to do the same thing that everybody else is doing, and they don't realize that gives them nothing. That gives them nothing, no different value. How are you gonna preach, like you just said? How are you gonna go sell someone your benefit if you're doing the exact same thing as someone else?
Yep.
So if you're a better transaction because we'd like you to be, customer for life or whatever your skill is, no one else is doing that, man.
Nobody's doing any of this stuff. All the stuff that we do, we come up with. Here's my whole thing. If you're going to a sales convention and everybody at the sales convention is wearing a blue hat, wear a red fucking hat. How about that? Like, seriously, the whole idea of being different, the standing out is a salesperson's best friends. No ifs, ands, or buts. So our show, The National Real Estate Post and Think Big, Work Small, we started doing this. We got a couple 100 million views on this thing. It's like, why did we get a couple 100 million views? Is it because we're super smart? No. Super good looking? No. Super anything? The only thing I'm super at is like pegging normal right down the middle. Like there is nothing extraordinary whatsoever about me or Frank. The only reason our shit got popular is we were the only people doing it. Like standing out in your marketing is hands down your best friend.
Yeah. Hey, let me throw this. I just came to my mind.
Sure.
So if you're calling that seller, try this script. This is from the great Barry Habib.
All right.
He's got this presentation on MBS Highway that's dope, and it's like, And so they were telling you they're working with another lender. They're working with another lender. Okay, cool. What if I was to tell you that we can go into this upgrade that you're doing, this new home? I'm assuming it's an upgrade, right?
Yeah.
And I can show, and we can move into that home and also reduce your total monthly debt. Would you be interested in looking at that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, it's 5 or 6 o'clock tomorrow. Good time for you.
Yeah, and what you're doing there then is you're being the red hat in a sea of blue hats there. Now explain what's happening behind the scenes. What are you going to do to fix my situation that other lenders aren't looking at?
The sexy thing is that I was reading through his presentations the other day, and this is the example I had yesterday too. Is so we're going up against Keller Mortgage, all right, and my LO sends me their quote sheet, and I'm like, this is exactly what we would offer today. You know, I mean, it's no different. All of a sudden, their fees and rates aren't as good as they used to be, right?
Is that true?
Well, the fees are still not there, but their rates. I mean, our rate was right with them, dude. And,
really?
Yeah, I think they came out the gates real strong to get the buy-in, right? But also, what we noticed is that their net sheets or their whatever they are, LEs or whatever, they're always wrong. They're always wrong. Like they really mess up on escrows a lot. So the point is that this guy was bringing 10,000 down, and really only had to bring like 5,200. The difference in that down payment was like $3 a month or something. It was something really slow, and so the LO went back and pitched the deal to the guy, and showed him our stuff with less money down. And the guy's like, "Well, I thought I had to do this." And then he pitched, "No, that's why we're consultants. Like we're wealth builders. We're not salespeople. We're not selling you rate. We're selling you wealth, or we're showing you wealth." So anyway, so Barry's thing is, a lot of people have a ton of equity in their home right now, which is why we're seeing a slight refi, not boom, but a uptake in the market. Instead of taking all that money and putting it on the down payment of your home, why don't you pay off some of those high installment debts you have, or credit card payments, or something like that, like from the equity of what you're selling, to get your payment down low to where your total monthly payment down to where it was with the old home, but you had more debt, because the theory is our equities are going up so much anyway. You're going to have that equity. You're building the equity in your home. I don't see a downturn in the housing prices over the next few years. Do you?
Well, I don't think anyone ever really sees it coming.
Yeah.
No, but what you're talking about is so what you're doing is you're taking your 27% revolving credit cards that are never going to get paid off, use a little of the equity to pay those off. With the money that you're saving on your payment, you can put that towards your principal, reduce the number of years that you're going to pay on the house, or you can go ahead and invest that money. You're basically, if you're going to, I mean, it's pretty simple what we're talking about here, is if you have if you're borrowing money, pay off your high interest money before your low interest money, and that's what this approach really allows you to do. And again, it surprises me that more loan officers aren't taking that approach. It's shocking.
And they're not thinking about it. They're sitting at desk. They're taught to do one thing. I mean, when's the last time you went into a credit union? They gave you 3 options, or gave you a bank or a U.S. bank or whoever, and they actually sit down and give you a true consultation.
Right.
See, this goes back to what we're talking about. We're not going to be eliminated from the market. You can't go with an app because you have to show your value.
I agree.
And it's not only going out and doing the sales pitch with the realtors, but when you sit with a client, I have an LO, dude. She showed a lady the other day. She pay off this $2,000 installment debt that you have as a $362 a month payment, and this is what your debt ratio is going to be. And you qualify for this home. Oh, but I don't have that money. You don't have to. You don't. If she was told I had to put 5% down on this home, no. You can put 3% down with a Fannie Mae Home Path loan or Home Ready or whatever it is, Home Style. But the point is that no one knows their options because no one provides them. We're so busy just trying to give an answer.
Well, what I tell people is, and you're really touching on things that are my talking points now. So I always tell loan officers and realtors, you have a micro problem. You do. Like all the loan officers, how many loan officers do you have working underneath you right now? Ballpark.
I think 6 or 7.
Okay.
3 salespeople and then their support staff.
Okay, so if you got 6 loan officers, 5 of those loan officers have a micro problem. Here's what it is. Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay? One of them has their shit figured out and they're okay. The other 5, there's 1 or 2 who are probably almost hopeless, and there's probably 2 in there that are pretty decent. That's just the nature of things. But they have a micro problem. Here's the deal. If those loan officers could just close 2 to 3 more deals per month consistently on top of what they're doing right now. So you got a dude who's doing 1.5 to 2 a month right now. If he could do 4 a month, 4.5, 5 a month consistently, he's fixed. Like, he is fixed. He's pulling down $250,000 a year. He's a happy camper. He's helping a lot of people. He's fixed. That's a micro problem. You only have to get 2 people to say yes per month. Yet we apply a macro solution to our micro problem. And what the macro solution we're applying is turning people into data. You know, it's like what you just said a moment ago. It's like, we think this is our answer. We think this is our answer because you can capture a bunch of people from this, and then you could bulk message a bunch of people from this. And that is so unbelievably impersonal that your conversion ratio goes down to shit. You're better off to take the micro solution, what we're talking about, where you're talking with these people, offering up the alternatives, being that full service, full-time professional loan officer where your conversion ratio goes up, and you are producing a better quality client at the end of the transaction. It's a micro problem. 2 more people a month. You don't need 50,000 people on a video. You need 2 people down there in Grand Rapids, President Gerald Ford International Airport, West Michigan City your ass lives in. You need to get 2 more people to say yes, right? I mean, tell me where this is wrong.
Overcomplicated, man.
Right.
Everybody's looking for that fuzzy rabbit, the squirrel, the shiny object. It's already there. Get one thing, focus on it, and do it well, and do it consistently, and you're going to achieve.
Yep, I totally agree with you.
Stop, do less, keep doing, do more, and start. And first of all, that's what they got to do. Is they got to start, man. Too many people sit back and they plan on what they're doing. I mean, when you and Frank, your show, like if you look back at it now, it's kind of funny, but back then it was cool. It's funny because you guys have come a long way and you're different, right?
Sure.
And the way it was originally shot was like indicative of back then. When my show, Real Estate Ride Along, the first 15 episodes was one iPhone.
Yep.
And we had to switch things up, and now it is what it is. But the thing is we did it and you started doing it. And so just like this class I took here said, you can learn all you want, but if you don't implement, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So just go out and do it. And don't just do it for a day or 2 days or 3 days. Like, do it for 6 weeks, man, and see what happens.
Okay, so I'm going to leave you guys with this. Now, this is not me. Okay, so I told you before, I don't know these guys. I'm reading sales books. I got a little book club thing going. I've never read a sales book, so I'm going to read them all this year. I'm reading them all. So of all the sales books I've read for a real estate agent, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, The Art of the Negotiation, this thing is insane. It's so good. Okay? This is a must read. Everybody should read this. Like, seriously, you'll read this and you're going to be a better communicator with your wife because you'll be able to manipulate her better. Okay. Now, the second one for what now? Okay, I'm serious. Now, what you were just talking about, it really is getting off your ass and doing it. Taking an activity, and how do you take a one-time activity and make it a habit so you can go ahead and really organize your day better so you can really determine if you're failing, meeting, or succeeding your goals? For loan officers, okay? Equally as awesome is this book. Ready? Atomic Habits by James Clear. This shit is insane.
Wrote it down, brother. Wrote it down.
Okay, so do me a favor. Read these books, get back to me, and tell me if they were as transformative to you as they've been for me. Like these are my 2 favorite sales books these are great. Like these two.
Here's another idea. Why don't you do a Mortgage Shots book club, bro?
Why I am doing it.
Like put it live on Zoom and let everybody join that wants to join, man.
Well, I am doing it.
Well, shit, I didn't get an invite.
All right. So I'm gonna get you in. So I have a group. We're gonna read 20 sales books this year. So that's what we're doing. I'll get you in on my book club. If anybody else wants to get in on my book club, all you have to do is text BOOKS BOOKS to 33655. If you want to, but you don't have to. And by the way, I'm telling this to everybody. Here's what I don't want in my book club group. I don't want people who aren't reading it, who want to talk, and just turn this into a gossip group. So I want people reading it, and because I'm the one who has to actually read the books, I'm the one who has to actually take notes on all the books. So we do lesson plans every week. Here's my whole thing. It's $50. I'll give it to you for free of charge, but it's $50. The only reason I'm charging you $50 is here's what I've learned. If you don't charge people shit, they won't do it. And then they're going to come to my, you know what I mean? Then they'll come in, they won't do shit, and they'll make my book club suck, and I don't want that. So it's $50. You want to join? I'm all down. I'll tell you what, you read all the books, you can have your money back, because I don't care. It's all about reading the books. But all you have to do is text, and I'll get you in for free, because I know you're a do and you'll read it.
Hey, you guys too. You got to get on these 8 weeks of classes with the, what the hell is it called? Kaleidoscope? I don't know, man.
Operation Kaleidoscope.
All right, so check it. This week, it's funny. We are doing. So I'm part of the Hero Nation coaching group, and we do have a database planning worksheet and all the stuff we went over a couple weeks ago. Dude, it is so spot on with what you went over this week, and having your A, B, C, and D group. So much that I had our marketing department build that out in our CRM. So dumb it down so an LO, all they have to do is open their computer in the morning. It tells them what to do. Spend an hour doing what you're supposed to do before you do anything else, right?
Yep.
So get in on this group of his. He's not charging for it. He should be. And they're teaching stuff. We're going on week 3 next week, but I'm sure he's got recorded videos he can catch you up in the first 2 weeks.
Got everything recorded. I'll give you. I'll kind of show you kind of where we're going, what we're doing. So you said because we are starting with the bare basics right now. I need the letter sent out saying you don't have a job. Oh, I'll get that to you in a second, Grant. I'll get that to you in a second. He's putting the show together for tomorrow. Okay, I'll just give you an idea real quick, and I'll let you guys go. Okay, so let me see if I can find this. This is file. I'm not sure what it's under. Let's try Eco Team. Okay, I'll just get this is roughly the direction we're going. Here's my presentation. Nice, huh? Okay. All right, so I'm not gonna. You've seen this?
No, this is what I went over on my coaching group today. Not this, is we call it building a community, but yeah.
Okay, so everybody has an ecosystem. So I'm kind of always fascinated with the idea of how like you or I operate within the community that we live. So like you and me both, we have work, play, and family. That's what we do. Yours looks different than mine. Mine looks different than yours. Ours, it's all. But it's something like this. Then we have our ways that we communicate to people, through life, community, phone, blog, Facebook, email, social media, B2B, text. This is how we communicate. And these are the things that we do. I'm thinking about like what I do in my ecosystem. I run my kids around. I go out to lunch every day. You go to coffee shops. My wife buys shit we don't need. Stuff like that. Okay. Now, in the course of our ecosystem, what we want to do, ideally, is influence our past, current, and future clients. So I was looking at how do I take all these new great ways to communicate and how can I integrate them into my ecosystem of all the people that I come in contact with, and how can I apply my ecosystem of work, play, and family, and how can I influence my past, current, and future clients. So I'll give you a quick example. That's real estate agents and loan officers. You need to be working together. That's what this is here. You need to be working hand in hand, realtors and lenders. Okay. Okay, so here's my example. So I'm a loan officer. Every day I walk out. I go every single day I go to, you can't see me, Pure Grain. Okay, so I'm holding up a coffee cup. It's Pure Grain. It's a German bakery. It's about 50 yards down the road from me. Go walk in there, get a coffee every day. Frank gets a latte or something like that every day. Now, we know the business owners. Frank's wife actually got a listing from one of the people who works there. He's going to get 2 listings because you get to know the small business owner. So when we think B2B, like business to business, that's our ecosystem. So Frank's ecosystem is coffee in the morning, got his wife a listing. So we think of like B2B in that case of maybe the business owner will give us a deal. We would call that a direct referral from the small business to the loan officer. And then we can go ahead and close it. But here's the other thing. So that small business owner, they have a sphere of influence. They have their friends, their past clients, family, friends, neighbors, whatever. Now, what if I were to go to Pure Grain and shoot a live video with the owner of Pure Grain and introduce my database to what their backstory is? Here's what their backstory is. Now, they're German immigrants, okay? They've been over here for 25 years. They speak the Queen's English. They own a couple businesses. They employ people. They have this great little bakery. And the daughter, who's been here her whole life, just became a U.S. citizen last month. I just learned this. I'm like, really? I would have never guessed you're from Germany. She goes, yeah, we're all from Germany. Her parents, strangely enough, still have to go back to Germany to renew their work visas. I'm like, they own companies over here and you have to, I'm like, that's crazy. But so there's an interesting backstory. So if I interview the owners of Pure Grain Bakery and I introduce them to my sphere of influence through a live video, and I have my text code, just like you see right now, right above you, the text code, but I have a text code specific to people who are interested in buying houses and getting mortgages. So doing a social media post with that Pure Grain, in addition to the direct referral, would be great. In addition to that, foot traffic. I want you to think about this. This coffee shop gets 1,000 people who go in there every day. Every day. 1,000 people go in there and get an overpriced coffee and a bagel and a scone or whatever it is. Well, guess what? People who get coffee and buy scones and bagels, they're just like us. They need to live indoors. And so I'm banking that some of those coffee drinkers might want to own the house that they live indoors from. So what if I got the German bakery people to put a sign up that says, you buy local, you eat local, why don't you mortgage and real estate local? Work with one of our local professionals, text Pure Grain, just like you're looking at Booster up above, text Pure Grain to 33655. Well, I did that. So now I'm capturing their foot traffic, their database traffic, their direct referral traffic, and then the idea is I'm actually going to have a real estate agent sitting there every Thursday at 12 o'clock and answer any real estate questions of anybody who wants to go in there, because I'm going to have a sign for that too. So I'm looking at 4 opportunities from where I get coffee in the morning, 4 completely different verticals on where I can easily, seamlessly extrapolate a lead. This is what happens with one person. So this is how it breaks down. We have our databases, which is direct database foot traffic sit-in. Our proposition is going to be their story. We're going to shoot that live. The database, we're going to offer a discount with a recorded video. Foot traffic, which is community, will have a sign inside the place. And sit-ins, education, I'll have a realtor sit there. So this is all just under the code Pure Grain. So I feed the message into my blog. Now, what's interesting about this is when I talk with them about their backstory, what they do, what their discounts are, that actually acts as content for my blog, because now I'm offering things to my community that are valuable, entertaining, and enriching from the business Pure Grain. So it doubles as content for my blog. Now on my blog, what I do is what I'm doing right now. I can go live on YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. That's what we're doing right now. Me and you, Anthony, we're doing this. So I can use this to generate more business, and I can use the people who are watching this from these social sites to feed into my blog where I've got lead capture. So I'm taking the Facebook audiences and putting them into my community-based blog. So this would be the one small ecosystem that I have from going and getting my coffee in the morning. That's it. Now what I want to do, this is where we're going to go. See, here's the ecosystems. Hold on. Here's the ecosystem. So I want to get Pure Grain. I want to get the gym. I want to get the DeVille. I want to get my taco joint. I want to get all my local places on my blog and create all that same type of infrastructure for the ecosystem. But then what we do, Anthony, is I'm going to take your blog. So if this yellow thing is your blog or my blog, Anthony, I'm going to build you a Grand Rapids blog where you do the same thing with the same subdomain, and I'm going to create a permanent backlink between me and you. So every time you post, you SEO me, and every time I post, I SEO you. But see, I'm also going to connect you with Tampa, Clearwater, Tacoma, Oklahoma City, all of them. So now we backlink, we create a community of backlinking amongst all the blogs with all of our own personal ecosystems. And what happens is my one blog now becomes the benefactor of all these micro ecosystems of other loan officers and their their same blogging platforms, because everything is backlinked. So we all SEO to death our leads. So we are I know, it's nuts, isn't it? And by the way, does it work? Hell yeah, it works. Here's an example of it working. So here's my whole point, is we are starting with our kaleidoscope. Now, are you starting to get why we call it a kaleidoscope?
Yeah.
So the idea is I need, before you get to the point to where I can have you building the infrastructure for a sense of permanence in your business, what I have to do is I have to make sure that your shit is together and organized and you're a doer, because those are the qualities that we all have to have. So anyways, I just thought I'd give you a peek of what's coming down the road in the next 6 weeks.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait.
Well, dude, I totally appreciate this. Anthony, I'm going to blast you my number right now. Keep in touch with me. Let me know how it goes, and I want you to know personally if there's anything that we can do to help you out, dude. Just don't hesitate to call me.
Gotcha, brother. Same here. If you need anything, let me know.
Right on, man. We got Anthony Mosley, Van Dyke Mortgage over there at the Gerald D. Ford International Airport in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Thank you so much for being a good friend and a great loan officer. Talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Be good.
All right, later, bye. No? All right, Grant, you need my thing? No, I just had my text code on there, and I was just kind of curious how it worked. Did Frank leave?
Yes. He left like a little bit after 2.
Okay, Grant. I need you to just make sure that there's no buddy's personal information on here.
Okay. Did you want to get dinner tonight?
Hang tight. Where am I? Oh, here. Okay, so I think I need this one. Okay, so let's download this one. All right, so now let's go over here to Grant. Yeah, we're gonna go. I think we're gonna do a little fishing.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh. Where are you going fishing at?
Dixon.
Who are you going with? Just your team?
Hey, you can go if you want.
Oh, you guys trying out that spot yet?
Yep.
Is it good?
It's awesome.
Do you know some fishing spots? I've only been fishing with them once, but I heard them talking about it. Where are you going fishing at?
Dixon.
Who are you going with?
Hey, you can go if you want. Yep. It's awesome. Hey, Andrew? How do I shut down my restream? I think I'm still on this thing. Oh.